Until now we executed in Scratchbook. So today let us see how do we execute in the execution. So I will open this section and dock it here. Okay, so first let me check out this. And let me check out my test cases. Okay, so now what is this execution list? Excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. So what is this execution list? Why do we need to go for it? Means until now we executed lots of test cases in Scratchbook. But do we have any log information saved for them? Is there something which tells us that this test case has been executed in Scratchbook? No, right? We don't have anything like that. Even the Scratchbook results will get cleared off after some time. So this is a temporary execution, you can say. What is execution means? This is something where you will see all the log information especially. Okay, now right click on the execution list and create an execution list folder. This is a normal folder, but I want to create an execution list folder. Okay, and I will name it as demo, something like this. Inside the execution list folder, you can create an execution list. So right click on it and create one execution list. For suppose I am creating the execution list for user registration. Okay, so what I need to do in order to run my test cases over there. So this is my user registration test case that I have, right? So simply drag the test cases that you want to run and drop it onto that particular execution list. See, they will be, you can drag as many test cases as you want. Okay, and usually execution list is something which appears in the triangle format. Under it you have to drop. Here there are four colors. When you don't execute it at least once, you will see no color filled in this triangle. Now let me start executing it. So how do we run them? Simply say go to execution list menu and simply say run. The shortcut remains the same, F6. So now I'm executing. Let's see. It opened demo web shop, clicked on register and started filling out the form. Why is it taking this much of time? Yeah, last time we give wait before and wait after. Do you remember? We give wait after 35 seconds or something like that. That is the reason I think. See now, my execution has completed and everything is in green. Same time, see here, this one is filled with green color now. And if you open it, see, there is a log information. for 4th June 2021, morning 8 o'clock, 41 minutes, 33 seconds. And if you open this log, see, you have executed all these steps, and this is the time that it has taken. And this is the data that you have used in order to execute them. So, all information is stored here. Okay, so everything will be saved. Similarly, if a test case fails also, for suppose, right click and I'm clicking on this run button once again so that it will start executing it. So what I will do is instead of register, I am manually clicking on login so that my test case will fail now. It, okay, I wantedly failed my test case. See, this has failed now. And now see what is the color in this triangle? Red color. And see there is one green color tick mark which says it has passed at 8 o'clock 41 minutes, and a red color cross mark which says it is failed at 8 o'clock 43 minutes. And if you open it, see open URL has passed. Clicking on register is also done. Clicking on female is done. Then for the first name it could not see that. At the same time the synchronization also failed because I manually disturbed that particular flow, right? That is the reason it has failed. So this is another type of indication. Like the past indication, in the same way this is the failed indication. Now let's run it once again. Okay. And this time what I am going to do is I will manually cancel the execution. So I'm clicking on a pause button here. Let's wait until we get that cancel option. Yeah, and I'm clicking on cancel here. See now, whenever you cancel it, you will see a exclamatory mark which is in the orange color. And see all the log information. It passed, it failed, and it cancelled. And if you open here, see execution has been cancelled. I cancelled it, right? So that is the reason it says execution has been cancelled. Okay. So this is how you can see all the log information. Now if you click on this user registration and open this particular test case inside that particular user registration, you can see all the logs whichever are available for this particular test case. Is it clear till here? Any questions, any doubts?
Ramya, down there, there is one statement stating that execution will be continued. What is the meaning of that?
Yeah, we will discuss that. Okay. Actually, yeah, for now, until that, did you understand any other questions you have other than this?
Okay, and the other one is instead of dragging the test cases to the execution list, is there any other steps like in creating test cases we have search and step, right?
Yes.
Like kind of any step is there here also, or
Uh,
is only drag and drop?
only drag and drop. You can
Oh,
drag and drop the test case folder also.
okay.
For suppose in the instances and all, you have folder here, right? Which consists of multiple test cases inside it.
Yes,
So you
yes.
can drag and drop this folder.
Okay, Ramya, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's go. So here you saw one line, right? Execution will be continue with the next case because the error situation could not be recovered. So what do they mean by recovered here? So actually we have something called recovery and cleanup scenarios in Tosca. Okay. These recovery and cleanup scenarios are nothing but exception handling, they say. For suppose you have 10 test cases and you are executing them. And there is a pop-up that opened as part of the second test case. You need to fill that pop-up or else you cannot close your browser or you cannot open a new browser and all. Think like you are in such a situation. And all of a sudden, at the time the pop-up opened, your test case failed due to some unknown reason. Okay. So what will happen to third test case? Because without handling that pop-up, it cannot start the third test case. And now that pop-up is still open. And third test case doesn't know how to close that pop-up. So what will happen then? Obviously, third one will fail, right? In the same way, fourth one will fail, fifth one will fail, sixth one will fail. All the remaining test cases will fail. Because of one small thing, all the test cases have failed even without executing one single step. So, in these cases, how do we handle it? Is what we will discuss now. Okay. Usually, not only in these cases, first of all, what one of the most asked interview question is, what are the different error types in Tosca? In Tosca, you might have seen lots of errors until today, like multiple tabs found, or sometimes multiple controls found, or that particular control is not available. Your Tosca, so some errors also related to tables you might have seen. So all these errors they categorized into three categories. One is on dialog failure. All the errors whichever I have said now, right? Like this is not there, that is not there, duplicates are there. All this will fall into this category on dialog failure. The second category is the on verification failure. Means whenever you are verifying something and the expected is not matching the actual result, then also your test cases will fail, right? So that is the verification failure ones. Third error category is the user abort. Means we will be cancelling the executions and all. Sometimes Tosca might stop it. It might crash. We don't know. So then all this fall under the user abort category. So how do we handle all these categories of errors? One is on dialog failure, second one is on verification failure, and third one is user abort. So usually in as part of our settings, you will have these three error categories given up here. One second. See here, on dialog failure, on exception failure, on verification failure. Okay, so what is that you need to do whenever you are facing these errors? So then you need to select that. Actually, you will have three options. One is continue with the same by going to the next step, or else execute the next test case, or else go for the recover. So we already know we are not going to change anything in the settings. So usually in order to by default they are like that. So without changing, if you want to update them, you can update them by using the test configuration parameters for them, or else it is mentioned like you have to go for the recover. What is this recover? Means usually you can right click on a test case folder level and see there is an icon, plus icon. This is the create recovery scenario collection. Just click on it. Inside this, you have two types of scenarios. One is recovery scenario and another one is cleanup scenario. So right click on it and see this is the recovery scenario. So click on it. And similarly again right click on it. Excuse me. Again right click on this recovery scenario collection. You can see the cleanup scenario icon. Click on this. This is the cleanup scenario. Okay. So what is this recovery? Why do we go for it? Means I will tell you the exact flow. Usually when we yeah, for suppose I have some test case and I am running it and it has failed at a third test step. Think like that. Okay, so what should I do? So whenever I give this recovery and cleanup scenarios, right, what will happen is when this test step fails, immediately it will go and all the recovery. Means whatever test steps we have given as part of the recovery scenario, they will be executed. Once this is executed, then it will start retrying the test case. What is this retrying means? Nothing but rerunning the test case. The same test case whatever we executed earlier, right? That one will be retried here. Okay. So at this point when we are giving the second chance, if it is working fine and if it works properly and it executes as a green color, then everything is happy. We are done. For suppose, even in the second chance, it did not work well, it failed again, then immediately cleanup scenario will be executed and then we will mark this particular test case as a failed one. Did you understand like orally?
Ramya, could you once repeat it again?
Yeah, I'm saying you. Whenever we have, usually we have some steps in the recovery and cleanup scenarios. Okay, you can have any test steps over there. So, whenever this particular test cases and all are executed, right? And for suppose my test case has failed at the third test step, okay? Let it be any number of test steps. So, it has failed at certain test step point. So, what will happen is automatically Tosca will see whether this test case or the test case folder contains any recovery scenarios. If yes, then immediately it will execute that recovery scenario and it will try, give a second chance to the test case. It will ask it to execute once again. So it will start executing the test case once again. In the second time of execution, if your test case is passed, then everything is happy. We are able to recover it. If in the second time execution also your test case fails, then immediately it will call the cleanup scenario, whatever you have given, and then it will mark the test case as a failed one. I'll show you now. Is it clear theoretically?
Yes, Ramya.
Yes,
Yeah.
Raman, in real time, which situation we will go for this one?
In real time, usually all the test cases will have this.
Suppose I have 5 test cases, third test case is fail. So the remaining fourth 5 it will continue.
No, I'll show you. See, these recovery scenarios can be given within test case or at the test case folder level also. Now let me create one dummy test case. Okay, what I will do is I'll open a new folder and create so it will be easy for us to understand. Okay, I have one test case here. I know that this test case will pass. Okay, what I will do is Here I'll give Ramya.Tosca. This email already is available, like it is already present. So obviously it will not go and work with the remaining steps, correct? And now I'll create a recovery scenario here on test case. Right click on the test case and click on these three dots. Here you can see, right? Create recovery scenarios collection. And again right click on it and create the recovery scenario. Inside this recovery scenario, I am giving this one. That to enter the details as datetime@gmail.com. Okay. Similarly, I have a cleanup also. Right click and execute the cleanup scenario. And as part of cleanup, I am closing the browser. Okay. I am wantingly failing my test case. And now another important thing that you want to remember is recovery scenarios have something in their properties which is called as retry level. I said you, if here the recovery fails, we will start retrying the test case. Second chance we will give to the test case, right? So from which point do you want to give the second chance? Do you want to execute the test case from the beginning, or else from the test step where it has failed, or from the test step value where it has failed? Three levels you have. So again, if you want to start it from the beginning of the test case, you will go for this. If you want to start it from the step where it has failed, you will go for this. If you want to start it from the test step value where it has failed, you will go for this. So what should I do now? Okay, so what I will do is I will first show you from the test step where it has failed. Okay, and I think whatever I have taken in my recovery is something wrong. What I will do is tbox set buffer, and as part of this I'll give email as ramya.tosca@gmail.com and run the step. Okay. So what I did basically means first I created one buffer called email and I gave the value as ramya.tosca@gmail.com. So now when I ask Tosca to enter the details in the registration page, so what is the email value that it is going to enter? ramya.tosca@gmail.com. Am I correct? Hello?
Yes, Ramya.
Okay. And after entering these details, it will try to go to the next step, that is verification of success message. But what will happen? This message won't be visible, right? So that means this test case will fail at that point. Am I correct?
But Ramya, you have given buffer it as different date at the rate. how it will give that Ramya.Tosca? I'm not getting. I didn't get it.
What is the value in the email?
Yeah, this Ramya.Tosca.
So here what I asked it to do?
Okay. Cost of value.
Yes. So your test case will fail.
Okay. Yes.
Are you guys with me? Raghu, Artha, Ganga, Gayatri, Komal.
Yeah.
Okay. So now once this at this point the test case will fail. So now you have to re-execute your entire test case. So what is that you have to do before giving the second chance as part of recovery? What is that we need to do? First we need to close the browser and then we need to again start creating a new buffer. So that is the date time buffer that I have, and I also have and so now this time whenever I it second chance, what is the value it is going to enter? Date time at the rate of gmail.com. So obviously it will be a new value. So my test case will pass in the second time. Let me introduce some wait also here, because I am closing my browser, which takes some time. I'll just keep a wait time here, and the duration I will keep is some 3000 seconds, 3 seconds. Okay, so now let me drag this test case and drop it onto an execution list, and now simply execute it. I'll just close this execution list, run. I opened demo web shop, clicked on register, started filling the values. Ayyo. There is some wait time here which we need to remove. Ramya Oreo, and this time it should enter ramya.tosca@gmail.com. See, it said register. And now what should happen actually? The test case should fail, right? See what will happen now. This is the role of the recover. See, now it closed your browser and now it will wait for 3 seconds and then it will set the buffer and then it will start executing from the beginning of the test case. No, it failed again. So let us see why is it failed. So open the log information and see it failed at this point. We know that your registration, this particular thing is not found. Then it executed the recovery, close browser, tbox wait and tbox set buffer, and see from which point it started executing again. It did not start from the beginning. Why? Let's go to this recovery scenario properties and see what is the retry level. See, here we gave the retry level of test step. But if you give it as test case, only then it. So your recovery also failed. Means in the second chance also it did not pass. So your recovery has failed here. That is the reason your cleanup came up and immediately it executed and it failed this entire test case. Let me change this retry level to test case here and run it again so that you will understand it more clearly. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see the value in that buffer. Register See, did you understand the exact flow what happened this time? First, it tried opening the URL, clicking on register, entering the details, but then it could not find this. Use your registration was completed, that particular element is not found. Then it executed the recovery, that is to close the browser, wait for some time, and then rerun, also set the value to some date time, and then it started giving the second chance to the test case, that is executing the test case from the beginning again. Open URL, clicking on register, and this time what is the email it entered? It entered a value. Let me show you that. Right click, column chooser, and used value. See, it entered a value like this: 20, 21, 06, 04, 09, 0946 at gmail.com. And this time it got the success message. So this test case has been executed successfully. Did you understand now?
Actually, I have one doubt.
Yes.
In this scenario, actually we know that we entered already existing email. That's why it will fail in verification. So we need to re-enter the another email ID. In some other situation in real time, we don't know where it will fail. In that scenario, how we will
Yeah,
respond?
that is what we have to handle.
Oh,
Usually we will handle, we will not do anything much. Usually it will be like closing the browser, opening the browser once again,
and
and
reading
re-
and
that,
starting the process from starting.
yeah, it depends on test case to test case. Usually the common things which we see is closing the browser, opening it, logging in. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That means, Ramya, whenever we know exactly it's failing, then only we can apply, right?
That is, actually these are not for that purpose, right? You should not know, even when there is no manual intervention, there is something which would help that particular test case. That is what they meant by using the recoveries. So you cannot say like, I know this will fail here, so that is the reason I am implementing recovery here. It is like a try catch thing. Like, for suppose if my test case fails at this point or at any point, I'm going to again re-execute my test case from this point.
It will applicable for all test cases, only specific. So
You
whenever
should do it for all test cases in real time. You can either give it at the test case level, as whatever we discussed now, or else at that particular test case folder level.
Ramya, whenever it failed, right? So the fail screenshot also available in here in execution list.
Oh, we did not discuss about screenshots, I'll tell you.
And Ramya, we added this recovery in the test case folder level. Then we drag one particular test case that will come like this only, recovery, cleanup in the test case level.
Yeah, whenever recovery is executed, you can see it in this way only.
If we added in the test case folder level also, it will come like
Yeah,
this.
yes. You can just right click on that folder and then create recovery scenario collection and you can add it here.
Oh,
Okay.
So, Ramya, there's one question here. Like when you start for any new automation and you just plan it, like how the automation, how will the create the automation scripts and the Tosca. Then for each and every scenario where you actually have an idea that it will fail. And in that condition, you have to design it like wherever it might fail, you have to create a particular recovery scenario for that particular steps in the
No,
test
you
case.
cannot create them at the step level.
Oh,
Either at the test case folder level or within the test case level.
test case folder level and within the test case level.
Yeah, if you have experience on UFT and Selenium earlier, you might have seen exception handling, try catch thing, right?
Yes, yes.
The same here.
What type of questions will come, Ramya? In interview?
They just ask you, and remember, this recovery and cleanup scenarios will be executed only in the execution list. They will not be called in scratch book. This is one important thing that you need to remember. And on this, they will ask you, how do we handle the errors in Tosca? So then you can say this one. If they ask you how do we implement exception handling in Tosca? The same answer. What are recovery and cleanup scenarios? The same answer. When do cleanup will execute? When after recovering and after retrying also the test case fails, then cleanup will execute and it will mark the test case as a failed one. The same answer.
Okay.
Ramya, I have one doubt. Before you have create in retry level, you have selected the test step point, right? There actually, if it is test step point, it have to re-execute from email scenario, right? But why it is failed again?
No. See, at which test step it is failing?
there is no
verification
success
of
message.
success message.
Yes.
So then what will happen? It will not re-execute the email one, because in
Okay.
recovery we are just setting the buffer, that's all.
Okay.
Okay, so your screen is still in this screen only, user registration forum only with that error message.
Okay. What if we given test step value same only?
Test step value means from the registration field. For suppose if you have so many in detail, if I want to say you, like 1 second. For suppose it failed at some point like this in the last name.
Okay.
If you are saying retry from the test step, it will start beginning from the female again. If you
Okay.
are saying retry from the test step value, it will start beginning from the last name.
Last name. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Raman.
Yeah. So with this, we completed today's topic. Tomorrow, Monday, we will see how to pull the reports and all. And hopefully on Monday itself, after discussing the reports, if possible, 1 second, just give me one moment. Hello. Hi, Priya. Good morning. Yeah. Hello. Okay, with this we will stop today's class, and Monday hopefully we will discuss about the different types of logs we have and the reports. Okay, how do we pull the reports and all, and hopefully by Tuesday we will have an interview question session. So please be prepared. Okay, that is the reason I am giving you an advance thing. So you have Saturday and Sunday. Please prepare yourself for the interview session. Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks.